Hey! Welcome to the Prez collaboration. I am Business Prez. And here, I'm going to show you the daily trend. Let's get into it. Whoa! Make sure we do that this time. I didn't do that last time, did the whole thing. Bitcoin, 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 Bitcoin. Alright. Well, let's look at the Bitcoin. Why are we looking at Bitcoin? Bitcoin runs the market. When Bitcoin goes up, gives everything the green light to go up. When Bitcoin crashes, everything go and follow. So usually you watch Bitcoin, even if you don't buy or sell or trade Bitcoin, it's kind of only a store of value anyway. There's not a lot to do with it other than just own it. But the way I see it is your gold nugget into the crypto world. So there's all sorts of reasons why we can have any one of these. There's all sorts of reasons why not to have them as well. So, do your research. These are assets. These are digital assets. You don't need to watch the charts every day. You just buy it, you put it away, you get the rewards it gives you. You sell them, or you keep them, you hodl them all up, and you sell them at the top, or when everyone's talking about it, or just at a profit. There's a lot of different ways to play this game. So I'm going to try and make it as simple as I possibly can. So that helps me too. Alright, so on the 1 hour we can sit. Nah, come on, we're not going on the 1 hour. It's ain't called the hourly trend, it's called the daily trend. Okay, that's better. Now we can kind of see what's going on. So I'm going to zoom out and I'm going to look at the complete big picture. All right, to get where we are now, a lot had to happen. So let's look at the previous bull run. All right, this is the previous bull run. You see any differences? Yeah, there's a lot of differences. This sharp, quick sell-off, spike back up, we double topped, and then we just pitched right on through it and consolidated. Our bull run was over. These two humps, it's where we could be today. Because even look at the run up to these two humps. Yeah, we've seen parabolic, but we did not see this yet. Let's make it a bit easier. I'm going to squeeze it in to 3-day trend. Then we can see more. There's just more on the candles. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do first. Let's identify the previous top. Okay, that lower high to the higher high. That. Alright, that was the top of the previous market. Okay, where's that? Popping up there. We spent a bit of time here and then we just shot straight through it. You'll see why in a second. So if we draw a line from the top, okay, through these highs, we broke out and we found another low. We broke out, found another low, and we just literally bottomed and then capitulated through it. And then we run up into the 2019 high and then kind of did the same thing, pulled back in consolidation. And here's where it sort of kind of should have got going. All right, we made a higher high, but then the crash happened, the sell-off, the panic, the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, all that happened. And I still didn't know what Bitcoin was. I didn't even know there was a sell-off. By the time I started buying in, it was this hump here. I didn't know what I was doing back then. I just got in at the best time possible for a rookie. Got in at the best time possible. Okay, so that, we'll go red on that one because that is your resistance. That is your resistance line, okay? Well, we capitulate and we don't know where we're going to go. So we hit here for some reason because that's the bottom of the previous top pattern. Okay, and then we come up double touched and we clearly found resistance on this line. Then after the massive sell-off, we come up, made consolidation along the previous lows, and then we pushed up. And we pushed up into that resistance and we never left it. We never left the resistance. What happened? We broke up. We flipped it. We tested the resistance as support. So now we turn it green. That's our support line. Okay, leading up to that, we had a support line anyway. Okay, so if we hit here and come down, we weren't making a lower low. Nearly guaranteed, but it happened the way it happened. And what that did was form a triangle. Okay, now patterns are tradable. And the target for this triangle it's either there to there, and we just smashed it anyway. Yeah. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. The point I'm trying to make is the whole run was consolidated in a triangle. Can we see the same here? Yeah, potentially. You know, we draw our resistance line, but look, that's not going to work, is it? Because what? We go straight down like that, what's it going to do? You know, that resistance line before was going like that. And it takes a long time. So that was the previous run, and the consolidation, the capitulation, and then the run up. This was the start of the bull run. People think it started from here. Nah, it didn't. Sorry, it didn't. And you'll see why in a minute. And looking at more recent price action. What happened when we broke out of here? It really started to go parabolic. Look at that uptrend. That is a ridiculous looking uptrend. Absolutely parabolic. Crazy, right? We broke out of the triangle, we retested support, and we went up 5x to the top. That's a big move, you know? That first run up, nearly 3x'd. And then what? We had a really decent pullback. That was like the first 30% pullback. And I've been watching all the YouTubers, they're telling you, like, look out for these 30% pullbacks. There's going to be like 7, 8, potentially 9 of them all the way up. I'm like, yeah, cool, sweet, we got this. So then look, 30% pullback. All right, we survived that when we start going up. This is what's going through my mind. All right, we survived 30%, we're going up. There's one out the way. Survived 30%, we're going up. There's 2 out of the way. Survived 30%. I really didn't know how I was playing this. All the way up. I did not know how I was playing this. So how am I supposed to manage risk if I don't know how to play the game? Trust me, I was working, learning. I was watching stuff every day. I was too consumed in. What I was doing is I was looking at the 1 hour going, oh, what's next? Making it hard for myself. Shouldn't have been doing that. So then you see here, we got the massive parabolic run up. And then what happened? Why did it stop? Well, let's have a look. It's going to leave us clues, right? We had a resistance. We had support there, but we kind of, well, that's pretty, like if that red candle was green there, that's called a hammer candle. That's a real bullish candle. I guess you could draw it like a falling wedge, and a falling wedge is a bullish pattern, and it fell into support. I don't know. That curve line is not a real support line. Don't even worry about that. Probably what happened is it hit a fib. It hit a fib. So we had a pullback, a run up. Yeah, it hit the 50. Yep, sweet. No worries there. So let's get rid of this because I'm actually going to use this more and you'll see why it's so good. So we're looking at 618. 618 is called the golden pocket and for a reason. So you know, this was a strong trend because we didn't pull back to the 618. We pulled back to the 50 and we kept going. Pulled back to the 50 and we kept going. Okay, then what happened next? Let's use the fib again. We went to here and we pulled back to the 50 again. Like, trend, spot on. You know, we go up, we pull back to 50. We go up, we pull back to the 50. So, does that happen again? Let's go from swing low to swing high. Yeah, we pulled back to the 50. But as you can see, we're getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So, what happened here? Oops. This top didn't really count because that was like a consolidation in between. Alright, that's neither a higher high nor a lower low. It was in the middle and then we pushed up. Swing high to swing low, what happened? Nothing got supported. Nothing got supported. There's your warning. There's your warning that something's up, something's about to happen, right? Because if we look at this pullback, it is actually pretty decent. 26%, that's not that decent. Again, another one of these 30% corrections. So that's running through my mind going, oh yeah, well, what, we're at 3 or 4 now? All right, well, up we go. Obviously, that's not the case. So, what happened? Well, if we draw between support, let's get rid of this parabolic. We all know how parabolic Bitcoin went and how parabolic it can go. But let's just draw our support and resistance. Okay, support at the bottoms, resistance at the top. Okay, our support broke. Warning number 1. Our resistance, we didn't break to the upside. Okay, so when the support broke, we mucked around here for a little bit. Then we came smashing straight through it. We made a lower low. This here is our previous low and we made another one. Okay, so now there's starting to be a few warning signals happening here. Okay, so our support was broken, we're making a lower low. Am I thinking about this? No, of course not. I'm like, all right, cool. Moon time, you know, let's go. Here we go. We've had a pullback. Now we go. We know what's next. We've got another run like this. No, not the case. Not the case. And why wasn't it the case? Well, let's have a look. See, this top here is pretty significant. We didn't really break through it convincingly. And we kind of just flipped that resistance as support there. But we didn't have much of a move after that. We ran out of momentum. Alright, so let's section this top to this top because it is significant. You'll see why in a minute. This top and this top. Okay, we got a little bit above it. Yeah. Devil horns, like, psh, that's a top pattern. Look, it's a top pattern. It's a shoulder, head, shoulder. And Carl at the moon, my guy, actually called this out. He went top, support, support, and he called this. He called this shoulder, head, shoulder, and he waited till like we come down and we tested. Like he waited until it was absolutely confirmed, and he comes out saying, "Guys, I'm shorting Bitcoin." And I'm like, "What's a short, man?" Oh, how do I short? Like, all right, I know how to short. It's the opposite of long, but like, there's more risk to shorting because there's more risk to shorting. Yeah, like, seriously, should have sold everything at least here. Even if I wasn't paying attention to these warning signals first, this here, this lower high, so we've now got the low and a lower low, okay? And we've got, oh, come with me. Oh, don't tell me. Come on, big boy. There you go. So we've got the high and the lower high. And what's going on here? Okay, is that lower high signals the reversal of the trend. So we got low, we got low, high, consolidation, breakout. Okay, retested, and then we got a high, we got a low, we got consolidation, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low. So this is the point that we need to like, all right, something's different, you know. And I didn't. I was too rookie. I was too green. I didn't know what I was doing. I actually tried to start blogging here and telling everyone, "Oh my God, this is great." I hope you didn't listen to me back then. But at the same time, I'm not telling you to buy or sell. Back then, I wasn't telling you to buy or sell. I think, if I can recall, and it's on the website, go have a look. I said this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Now, I thought things were going to continue, but I should have known. Like the laser eyes come out. Hey, it was in the news. It was changing people's lives. Everyone was talking about it. That is the sign of a market top. I was paying attention, but I wasn't convinced of what I needed to do. And then making this a lower high, we can even see there's a pattern there, an M pattern or a double top. M, and we broke through the neckline. Now we're going down. Okay? So that's one of our patterns. It's an M, a double top. Price pushes up. We can't make a higher high, but do we get supported at the lows and then push up again, or do we break through that support? And what happened is we broke through that support. So by the time now we're going, all right, well, we've had a pattern that we broke down from. The target of this pattern is the bottom. Now this pattern, this ascending wedge, could be drawn from back here. It can. And it definitely should have. Because where do we go? It's an ascending channel then, and where do we go? We fell back to the bottom of the ascending channel. And that lines up with our support. Okay, so let's just keep that, well, just keep that nice and tidy for a minute. All right, let's put it back there. Let's get rid of that. Let's move this one back. Okay, so it's not too much going on. All right, so we've got one pattern, bullish. Okay, it's consolidating to support, and we got the W there, and we broke out, retested, and went up. So the opposite of an M pattern or a double top is a double bottom or a W. Right, we broke out, retested, and continued up. Same as here, broke out, retested, continued up. So that's market structure. That's good market structure that we can follow in the trend. All right, so we come up, we went from bullish to bearish, and we started breaking down. And then what happened? We sold off. We sold off so much, so fast, so quick. Why? Because smart people were buying back here, man. Smart people were buying back there, and they weren't saying anything until we got up here, and everyone was talking about it. You know, come on the news. You know, all the media. Like, it's crazy times what was going on. You know, and I was too absorbed in it. I couldn't back myself enough. Like, I needed help. I didn't know what I was doing. Alright, so we had the lower low, the lower high, the M pattern to confirm it at resistance, and it all broke down. Okay, why did we get supported here? Well, it was the previous bottom. Okay, number one, it was previous bottom, so we can draw that there. That's why we come there and stopped. It was a previous bottom. People had previously bought here and made money on the way up. Okay, that's the simplest way to think about it. Another thing we can do is we can use the Fib. The Fib retracement from swing low back in March 2020 to swing high. All right, we marked around the 50. Okay, we didn't come all the way back to the 618. Okay, that's two. Another one is the Fib extension. It's trend based. So we had a bullish trend, a reversal, and then a bearish trend. So that's why I'm going to use this on the bear trend. Okay, from swing high to swing low, which was the lower low, to the swing high, which was our lower high, and we can see what area we come into is that blue zone, that purplish blue zone between the 1 and the 1.618. And what that essentially means, I'll show you once I sort this out. Bear with me. Yeah, we'll keep that. We'll keep that. We'll keep that. They're all relevant. Oh, we'll keep the 2 there too. Yep. All right. So we see the first leg. The first leg down. Oh, what's going on? That's horizontal. I want to trend it. So we've got the first leg down. Bus. Okay. Just like an impulse. And then the pullback to the support, or to the resistance, I should say. The next wave is not the same, which would take us from there to there, but it was an extra bit. It was a 1.618 extension of this move right here. Okay, so if we get rid of that trend, you might be able to see it better. Get rid of that. We'll make them all thin so we can actually see what's going on. Alright, what are we concentrating on now? We're concentrating on this move from top to bottom here, and the pullback and the extension, right? So it was this move plus another 2/3 added on top. And yeah, I mean, me thinking I can't even remember because I was just stupid and I told myself to forget everything I was thinking back then because it didn't work for me anyway. Yeah, I didn't think it could go as low as it did. I thought, we'd settle down around here at the 1 extension, But we can see that's a pretty big level anyway. Big level that's, previous top, broke out, flipped it, this is a pretty big level. I'm like, yeah, that's where we're going. Nah, foolish, silly me. Why? Because of momentum, all right? This little push up, what it was doing to like retail investors and people who like me who didn't know what they were doing at the time, they were leveraging long. They were pretty much going all in, leveraged up to their eyeballs and going, yep, going to the moon. We're all going to be rich. Euphoria. Eh? What do we sell? Euphoria. We sell emotions. When people are happy, why? Why are you happy that the price is so high? Because you're actually taking profits, or because everyone's talking about it, yeah. You got to ask yourself these questions. Why am I here in the first place, Do I understand the assets, or am I just here to flip for cash, Alright, so we understand that was a move, and it played out, and that move is now over. Why? Because this support we went from there to there in a hurry. And look at that wick. That wick means that this got bought. Someone was buying this. Or the leverage longs, once they were wrong, they had to start selling. Let's start selling at a loss, all right? And smart people up here, they would be selling anyway and shorting the market, So then you got sellers, you got shorters. There's 2 bears against one set of bulls who were like, let's go to the moon. The Bears won. Chicago Bears won. Chicago Bulls won here. Chicago Bears stepped in, took us there. So, now what's happening around here? You see all these wicks. All right? Buyers. But what was happening? We were consolidating and then tried to push up and make a higher high here. That didn't really work. So we come down. And what do you see here? Yeah, a W. But we broke out. I'm like, yeah, this is it. This is the reversal. I was too early again. But what do? We just trended down in this channel ever so slowly. Just trended down. Where? To support. Then what happened? What happened after that? Well, let's see. Before I do that, I want to show you something else. This is a pattern. This, I think you already know what I'm going to say. That's right. You guessed it. So if we take the top here and the top here, it's the top of two patterns, right? So we've had, let's flip that. We had a bullish pattern after a bearish run. And support was holding. And we broke out of this channel. And it's here on the 22nd that I was saying, hey, I'm buying this. I'm buying this. I've seen what I needed to see now. We're good. Alright, and if we drag this out through that, we can see the impulse that we had broke out. We made a new high. Convincingly. We didn't just barely make a new high, we convincingly made a new high. And what did? We pulled back, we retested. The resistance got retested, got flipped, broke out, flipped it, tested it as support, and then we can bounce. We can move on from there. Is that what happened? Yes, it did. And then we come up, what do we see? A little M pattern. Just because it makes an M doesn't mean it has to break down. The psychology behind it is that it was a bullish move. Now the bears are taking over. But we made a higher low, the bears didn't take over. And again, we broke through it, and right now, we're coming down and we're testing that previous high as a support level. So as we're watching this, when we buy here, yeah, you can take profits there, but like, you gotta know what you're doing and be capturing swings like that, you know what I mean? So what can we do? We can just watch the trend, we can map this out. So we broke it, we retested support. Awesome. Alright, and then we move on. So that was the previous top. I tested a support. Barely. You can see a wick in there somewhere. Barely. Alright, which tells me like we might be coming back here. Barely flip a level. Look what happens when we barely flip the level here. It did not hold as support, did it? We come straight through that. Straight through that. You know what I mean? So we've got the same warning signs. There's not a lot of warning. But are we getting similar warning signs? That's why we need to watch the trend. So what's the trend doing right now? Trend's going up. But yeah. Trend is going up. So if we go from here to there, to there, to there, I mean, we join as many as we can. Looks like we broke the trend. Hey, we probably did. Alright, but let's just loosely follow that for a second. Alright, shrink this down a bit. Still with me? Still with me? Yeah, good. Hey, just checking. Alright, so the trend is up. We're coming to this area of resistance now. This is a big level. This is where all this happened, right in the middle of it. There was the bottom, there was the top, all this happened right in the middle. And the way I see it is if we've come from here all the way up here, that's an 80% move on Bitcoin in like a month. That's huge, right? Like I'm saying, Bitcoin's the signal for the rest of the market. If Bitcoin's doing 80%, well, guess what everything else is doing, right? What did ETH do? ETH did 90%. What did XRP do? XRP did 150%. These are your big three, man. Cardano broke out of all-time highs and is There's your recent all-time high. We weren't that long ago. ETH still hasn't broken that yet. That's how much Cardano has run up. From the low to the high, 170%. You see what I mean? You can stake Cardano. Cardano does a lot more than Bitcoin. You know? And these are my indicators. You'll find out about them later. I'm just showing you the basics. I'm showing you what I'm watching. Because if I had been watching the daily trend, I could have been in and out in more realistic areas. Could have been taking profits when it's time to take profits, and it could have been buying when it's time to buy. Just by taking a massive step back. I was watching the 1 hour. You can't even see this stuff on the 1 hour. So how is it supposed to make sense to me? You know what I mean? Didn't. So, trend is going up. We've got the roof going that way, and we're going into resistance. So, I mean, there's our clear support. We could even move that up. Previous bottom, previous top, and this. Alright, so if we hit resistance, where are we pulling back to? You know what I mean? Is this going to be a pullback and then we continue up? Should be. Because, take a look at the fib again. Look where the 50 is, and look where the 618 is. It's on the bottom. When we fell from here, we come to the bottom again. So we're looking for a bottom as the ultimate support, and we're looking at this area like an area where the buyers or the bulls will step in. You know what I mean? We're looking at this area like the bears are stepping in. Either take your profits or take your capital out or do whatever you got to do. Hey, I'm not going to tell anyone what to do. I'm just telling everyone what I'm doing because it helps me, and if it helps me, it's going to help someone else as well. You know what I mean? So this trend, you know, it's fairly parabolic. It's looking like one of these, you know, so if it's going to go up this fast in this March, it's probably going to pull back just the same. And even if this is topped out here and we come back to the 50, that's a 20% correction. But how do we know? Well, you can do your own thing. You can buy supply, you can buy support of demand, and you can sell resistance or supply. You know, people supply Bitcoin up here if you're willing to pay that much for it, you know what I mean? So what is going to happen with this trend? We'll have to see. All right, so we can see we're in an ascending wedge. All right, we've got our pullback area where we might come back to, but why would it even go there if the trend isn't breaking? So we've just got to see. All right, first of all, are we going to make a lower low? That's probably, you know, a big one. All right, let's get rid of that for a second. Let's just bring this down here for a second. All right, so that will be our buying area. Okay, this is your previous top. Whoops, that's your previous top. And this is your previous low. Okay, and I suppose you could even do a little bit of a trend line along here. That's getting a bit too fancy now. As you can see, look, when we overanalyze things, start to lose sight of the big picture. All right, I'm already doing it now. So we broke the top, made a new high, come back, we're testing the top as support. If we bottom out here, break out, retest, and continue, bullish. There's no reason to do anything. You just leave your money in. You know what I mean? That's what I'm doing. But if we start to see a push up here, oh cool, we're bouncing from support, but we're not making a higher high, we're coming down to the neckline. You know, ooh, that's when things start to get a bit dangerous. You know, we might push up again because it is support, but then we might actually break down this time. Come up, test it, and then we're looking for our support. What's this? It's a bearish trend. We've gone up, we've gone sideways, we've gone down. Okay? So just like the top here, we need to be able to identify when the structure breaks and the trend reverses. What do I think is going to happen here is irrelevant. The market's going to show me. And then I need to be able to make the right moves at the right time without this getting in the way, without all the emotions getting in the way too, man. I was a radic. I was an emotional wreck. So I needed to create a system to take my emotions out of it. I've done that. That's all I'm going to do, because that's the basics. Hey, that's charting 101. That's support, resistance, trend lines. There was even a bit of fib in there, but now you get it. Draw some lines, you make some squeezes. What's price going to do next? As long as we're going up, down, and making highs, then we're bullish. But if we're going lowers, then we're bearish. And it's up to you to make up your own mind of what you need to do then. The final thing that I'm going to say, and why I'm convinced this bull run is not over, is because we haven't seen our targets yet. Our targets as in the time frame has not elapsed, and the price range, we're not in it. And this top formation to take 100 days, whereas back here we were done in a month. You had 30 days to sell before it was gone forever. And that's not how it feels right now. It doesn't feel like Bitcoin's gone forever. It just feels like we had a massive run up at the start of the bull run. A massive run up. We just needed to cool off. We needed to pull back. We needed to settle down, calm down, shake out the weak hands, get rid of all the emotional and erratic traders, get rid of all the noobs and everyone who didn't know what they were doing. And then it squeezes between support and it pushes up. And then everyone's going, oh, I knew I should have held on. Now it's time to get back in. And then we can go down and it can wreck those people, it can get them out of the market, but then we take off again. And then they're just, I don't want to be that guy. I do not want to be that guy. So the final thing, right? We've got patterns, we've got trends, we're looking at the macro. Elliott Waves is a great analysis tool to see a lot, because it's intricate and there's waves inside of waves inside of waves, and there's 3 waves, there's 5 waves, there's all sorts of different things. But when you see it, it really helps, and when you kind of understand it, it really helps. So we had the top, we had the massive sell-off. Okay, that's it. That's bull run over, because what happened is we held support. We held support right here all the way, but we weren't making higher highs, were we? So price was being supported, there was a floor, but the pressure coming to the floor was greater and greater and greater because the bears had momentum. So what's going to happen here? What, is everyone going to suddenly buy it? No way. You've got to have a capitulation first. And we did. We capitulated. And then we made a new low. We started diverging, made a higher low, and then people started to realize, all right. And then bang, we broke up. Okay, capitulated. Made a higher low. We broke up, consolidated, broke through it. And then bang. This didn't take long either. From low to top, 120 days, right? I guess it did take long. Move 3x, all right? This here signaled the bull run. This was the start. This was, we broke out of all this stuff and just made a massive new high. And then we consolidated down, and then we broke out of that to the upside. And really here, after the pullback here, is where we should have started seeing some more bullish. what happened here? COVID dump, the massive crash, you know, which fell on support, believe it or not. And then from there we picked up and we broke out. This is the one wave. So from absolute low, because we made a higher low, even after the mass panic that caused, we made a higher low. One wave, the pullback, the two wave. The three wave, which in Elliott waves, always the biggest, the most impulsive, the highest, the fastest. So it makes sense why it did what it did in the way that it did it. Then the four wave is the pullback. We had that. We didn't pull back all the way to the one, which would invalidate. So we didn't invalidate it. Where do we go from here? Well, the five wave does not stop short of the three wave. The five wave is either the length of wave one or the length of wave three, or in between. Usually it's not the biggest wave, but after an impulsive move, 1, 2, 3, impulsive bull market move, we're in price discovery. No one knows where this thing's really going to go. You know, that's why it goes so parabolic. Because who's going to sell? Who's going to go against the trend when we're in price discovery? You know? So, yeah, that's kind of our target range. $100,000 is thrown around like crazy. This $100,000 Australian. They're all talking in USD. You know, I'm doing you all a disservice showing you Australian dollars here. It should be in USD, but this is what I use. So, oh well. So, within Elliott waves, you've got waves within waves. Okay? So you got, in this wave, you'd have a 1, a pullback, a 2. Actually, why does that not seem right? Well, that's right. It could happen in a 3 wave. Could happen in a 3 wave. We go 1, we pull back, we bust off. Alright? More realistically, it's going to happen in 5. We're going to go up here. We're going to pull back down to support. We're going to break out of all-time highs. We'll retest all-time highs at a proper structure. And then we're going to go and we're going to be absolutely gone. Absolutely gone forever. Until it tops out. And then we come back. So I don't think it's going to happen in 3 waves. I don't really know what's going to happen. But this is the thesis behind why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's because we haven't seen our targets yet. We haven't seen our time frame yet. It's actually at the end of the year. Is our time frame. And our targets are here. So if anything, I'm not selling my Bitcoin until we continue to these levels. And that's the bull run. And that's because of Bitcoin's fundamentals. And it needs to be mined. And that gets halved each and every year. No, not each and every year, sorry. Every 4 years. So we have a 4-year cycle. So halves right in the middle. And then we have a 4-year cycle. More on that. More on that in the website. So yeah, we're not done. We're not done. Some targets of where we could actually go. And that lines up pretty well. The 1 extension, alright? We get the same impulse on the 2 wave, which I did say was possible. You know, or we get the 1 wave, which just takes us up a little bit more. But look, that's less than 100,000 AUD, you know? We're probably not going to just cut it off there, guys. Come on. We could, but it would go against last cycle and the cycle before that. And then we're getting up to the 1 extension, 120 grand, awesome. The 1618, the 2618, and then the 3 and the 4, but I've already taken them off. So This is where Bitcoin could end up. And this is the time it should end up there. You know, so there's my target. Anything over that is a bonus. If you're not already in position, man, I wouldn't really go buying in. If Bitcoin's taken off, just go look at altcoins. You've seen how they can move. But yeah, that's my analysis on the daily trend. And like I said, I do that so I can see the big picture and I can see the moves as they happen, why they happen, and it all goes into realistic support resistance structure anyway. You know, you're watching it on the 1 hour, it's not going to make sense. Can't even zoom out that far. The 4 hour is helpful though. So, I mean, if you're a hodler, you're only looking at the daily in terms of a week-to-week basis. You know, that's for an investor. That's if you're buying it, staking it, getting the rewards, and then you're done. You only buy it, you know, which you should be doing. If you know what's going on with fiat currency, yeah, cryptos are the safe haven. You do like money? So we're looking at the daily, and if you're a day trader, you look at the hourlies. The 4 hour is great. You can see everything still in the 4 hour chart. And that's why I really like it. I look at the daily trend, and then I look within the 4 hour chart to find like where's a great time to buy, where's a great time to sell. And usually it predicts the trends setting up and breaking down before the daily. So if you're good on the charts, the 4 hour is very, very helpful. Other than that, I would not zoom in anymore. And as you've seen, when we open anything up, it just wants to send you straight to the 1 hour. 1 hour. Polygon. Come on. Everyone's probably getting scared that's a bear trend. You know, it's pulling back to support. It's making higher lows. It's not a bearish trend. It's a continuation. No? Oops. No. No. When we break that structure, when we start to fizzle off, that's when I'd be out, you know? Love Polygon. But look at that. Look at that. Massive, massive downtrend. We've seen what happened with Bitcoin. So, guys, that's the daily trend. That's the daily trend. Thanks for watching. Sorry it went for so long. This is the intro. It's not going to be like this all the time. It's just going to be, as long as you understand where I'm coming from, you can always come back to this video. But whenever I reference stuff from now on, it's going to be about the daily trend. If you want to see more, jump on the websites. And thanks for watching. I'll see you later.